Are we ready, Owen? You want to bring us in or you want me to? Okay. All righty. Welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast. I am Francis. That's Roan.
What is up, everybody?
We are not joined today by Harry Lil Sasquatch Settle, who is unfortunately attending a very sad funeral today.
He's mourning his comedy career.
Yes.
Fucking loser.
Deep burn. Let's rip in him.
Because he's not here to defend himself.
He can't defend himself.
Fucking goofy bastard.
Nah, but he has very good reasons for not being here, so we
No, he's literally at a funeral, yeah.
We hope he's okay and that everyone is taking the time they need to grieve.
Totally.
Additional note is that Roan was saying the lead part for Pop Punk.
The musical.
In back-to-back.
The lead part definitely makes it seem like it's a role.
In back-to-back.
I played Jean Valjean in Pop Punk.
Dude, I listened to musicals the whole drive home.
Really?
From the Hudson Valley yesterday.
Did you sing along?
I certainly did. And I didn't just sing along. I did the faces.
What do you mean? What musical did you listen to?
Well, I started with a bunch of Disney ones, and then I moved into Sound of Music.
Sound of Music is a timeless classic.
It's unbelievable. High on a hill was a lonely goat, lay, oh, lay, oh, lay, hee-hoo.
That's one of the... I think that's one of my least favorite songs from it, though.
It is my least favorite song, and I knew that because I knew the least words.
Why the fuck is that song even in there? They just needed a yodeling song to kind of satisfy the Austrian countryside?
Maria is struggling to find ways to entertain the children, and they're putting on a puppet show, and I think, yeah, it is another one that is supposed to sing to the heartbeat of Austria.
They're jamming too many songs in musicals these days.
Yeah.
Or those days. I guess that's a foregone era.
Do you know what I heard? Is that Christopher Plummer and Liesl had some bad behavior going on the set.
Was Christopher Plummer? Who was he?
Captain
the
Von
Nazi?
Trapp.
Oh, what?
By the way, if you go back and look at him in that movie, he might be the most handsome man ever to live.
But she's 16.
What, going on 17 though?
Yeah, but what does that mean? You can't be 16 going on 18.
I don't know how old she was when she was in the film. Could you possibly, Owen, do a quick check and see the actress's age that played Liesl? It's Liesl, I believe.
Beautiful name.
Yeah.
But what the hell? She was philandering with the fucking Captain Von Trapp?
You could see it in her. She was full of mischief in that eye of hers.
That
Charmian Carr.
It's got a birthday in the year it came out. Because, I mean, that would really make the Nazis mad. Born in 42, came out in 65.
23
so
years
she's 23.
old. That's totally fine.
Going on 24? That's fine.
Yeah, that's within the age of reason. So,
these steaming mad Nazis.
do you remember? You could tell a little something. There's that great moment when they're saying goodbye to the whole party.
Yes.
And
they open mouth kiss. I remember that now. I remember that he fucking Dirty Dancing lifts her by her crotch over the fucking Von Trapp family mansion.
She says, "I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne." Yes. And he goes, no. And there's a little bit there. There's something there.
There's the flirtatious. How did you hear that? How did you find that?
Someone was telling me that that was the rumor. My grandfather, I believe, went on a date with the real youngest Von Trapp.
What the fuck?
I think I have that right. Or
No
he
way.
knew her. Something like that.
And I heard that they tried to smoke weed and play piano together, but it didn't take.
But she's been smoking that Austrian Alps weed, and she had a high tolerance, and my grandfather was just trying to be, in the moment.
They just kind of hugged goodbye, and there was nothing became of it.
She was out of his league. She'd already escaped the Nazis by hiking over the Alps.
It was Nikki Glaser Von Trapp. Everyone remembers it well. A timeless story. Damn, that's fucking good lore.
Yeah, good lore.
You have good Von Trapp lore.
I think that was the story, was that my grandfather had once gone on a date with the real youngest Von Trapp girl, the one who goes, The sun has gone to bed, and so must I.
And performatively tries to sleep on the steps.
She does. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And then they all respond, goodbye.
And then one of them hits like a glass shattering note.
Yeah, well, that's Julie Andrews singing the high C in Do Re Mi, which again we've talked about this, right?
Of course,
we talked about Do Re Mi.
of
My
course.
issue with two
You
of
hate
them.
it.
Hate two of them.
Fa.
Fa.
The
And,
Ebonics one.
and La.
La.
I hate La.
La's lazy.
Well, what did they say about La in the song? Do you remember?
A note to follow, so.
What the fuck is that?
That doesn't make any sense.
What about the Spanish for the?
That would be fucking great.
Would have worked.
That would have played. So she hits high C in multiple songs.
In Do Re Mi is the one where I think she sings the high C. I don't think she does it in that Goodbye song.
I thought that there was like or maybe it's one of the boys that does it. Isn't there one?
Oh,
that goes
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't even fucking hit it
one
right
of the
now.
boys.
It's one of the fucking boys. And that's why they had to get out of Germany, because one of the young Von Trapps was gay as hell.
Gay, it certainly was.
He like twinkles out on his toes and fucking hurries out of there. But you know who was probably pissed about the Liesel and Papa Von Trapp romance is Julie Andrews.
I would wonder.
Why wouldn't she be fucking steaming mad about that?
That is a total thorn in the on-screen romance.
But that makes so much more sense. Why would he want that cobwebbed nun pussy when he could have his own 16-year-old daughter?
She underneath her bonnet, she did have curlers in her hair.
Oh, I forgot.
There's nothing hornier than a rebellious nun, one that constantly escapes the abbey.
Especially in that time.
Yeah.
Because she was probably forced to nunnery at gunpoint.
Right.
There's no way she'd pine for the abbey.
If I learned anything from that viral Mia Khalifa adult film scene where she's wearing Arab Muslim garb under the table, it's that repressed religious women are the freakiest in the sheets.
Of course, they have to be.
That's it.
And even though, doesn't Maria Khalifa.
Maria Khalifa.
How do you solve a problem like Mia Khalifa? How do you catch her head and hold it down?
Only 13 scenes, and yet she's still the GOAT.
What was longer, Maria Khalifa's film career as an adult actress or the Beatles' entire catalog front to back? Because they might be the exact same amount of minutes. They might line up entirely perfectly.
You can try, by the way. Yeah, by the way, Mia Khalifa, I'm sure. I don't understand what's going on with her.
I think she just is real. She's like been the only person to put the toothpaste back in the tube, and she has regressed to softcore porn. And I think that she doesn't have to get dick in V anymore. I think she can just maybe she's on OnlyFans.
I see.
Or I think she could just kind of like show her boobs and get paid directly instead of. What does she make? Like $100 for her entire porno career?
Probably not much. I don't know.
I feel like there's like an Economist article on it or something.
Did she become a voice against porn?
Yeah, she went back to Arab as well.
She did.
No, I don't
she,
know about that.
Born again Arab.
Right, born again. They just sewed her hymen shut.
Oh,
and she's fucking... We're having fun without Sass. I'm just...
Well, he doesn't know about these things.
Yeah, he has no idea.
They don't have a hymen reproduction facility in Call of Duty game maps.
Yeah, the closest thing to hymen is his half Jewish side. His grandfather was named Hyman. Isn't Hyman Roth one of the characters in The Godfather?
That sounds right.
He was like the guy in Miami.
Oh, the one that
or Cuba, or maybe Cuba
in Godfather 2.
Godfather 2, yeah, Hyman Roth, which is also.
I've only seen Godfather 2 once.
Oh God, it's so fucking good.
It's crazy how good it is,
and it's also it's one of those you don't pick up everything.
No,
as you're watching.
It's the scenes of De Niro stalking the guy through the streets.
Yes.
Of Little Italy, I think, in New York.
Yeah,
right?
and he's like climbing over
yeah,
rooftops.
He's stalking him. That I remember very vividly.
And his neighbor's like, "Hey, I have a gun.
Yeah.
Take the gun. I just fucking killed someone."
Hey, I wanted to ask you something.
Talk to me, brother.
It occurred to me to ask this question. Why is mutually consensual incest so maligned? Why is it so taboo?
I think it's because of the procreative nastiness that comes of it.
That's exactly right. And I did some research. Not for my own sake. I know it's wrong. I'm not into it. Everyone I'm related to is taken.
No Von Trapp business. Until you have kids, everyone's taken.
I'm not trying to wreck my own homes.
But
I think that the myth, I'm going to call it a myth. I think the myth of incest being such a direct leader to cognitive and developmental disorders is overblown. And I think it was concocted by the deep state to dissuade people from hooking up with their
hot
relatives.
ass cousins.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
With their smoking hot ass cousins.
Yeah.
I heard that it raises infant mortality by 100%. 100%. So
that's a high number. Wow.
And then it lowers the IQ points of the baby by 10 to 15
What,
points.
just automatically?
Yeah, I think automatically. But also
hold on
in the
a
grand
second.
scheme of things, your family's smart enough where you guys could chunk off 15.
Right, we could. We're right. We have some.
You guys
we can
could lop
afford.
off.
We can afford to get pregnant with each other.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Here's the thing. I think I read that. Yes, with a direct sibling, it's not great.
But
First cousins, the risk is the same as anyone out there.
no.
That's what I read. I also read.
Show me the pictures of these cousins you're talking about.
If you Google, I said they're already taken. 10 years ago. I did read a lot. When you Google why is incest so bad?
No, bro.
Bro, all
Get 'em,
the
boys.
responses are people on Reddit being like, yeah, why is it so bad? And
Well,
it's
because-
people that are like really trying to convince themselves that it's okay.
Because the people who are Googling that are already trying to figure out,
Yeah.
they're looking for a loophole.
Are my herpes really going to turn me into a social pariah?
Yeah.
No, everybody's got herpes.
Yeah. But people are, if you're trying to get to the bottom of it, especially the wording that you had, why is it so bad?
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? They're going to give you a generous answer.
I also think I Googled, is it true that incest really increases the risk of developmental or disorders or something like that?
I think you just get the Habsburg jaw. I think that's the only thing that
Is that
is
right?
guaranteed to happen.
Remind me what that is.
That's when your lower face is
Oh, like an overbite?
it's like
Jowly dog?
it's like a fat underbite. I think I need to show you a
Underbite.
picture just so I feel like that's the only way to
And the
illustrate it.
Habsburgs were the family dynasty that was known for inbreeding? Is that why
I believe so.
they earned the name?
The Habsburg royal family in medieval Europe, it's this distinct jaw. So I think there's a couple things that happen.
Yeah,
I
these
think
people don't look great.
Habsburg jaw happens.
Mhm.
I also think that it weren't a lot of the Russians, like the late 18th century Russians were pretty inbred, and they had what's that disease where if you get a small cut, your blood doesn't clot.
Oh, yeah.
Hemophiliac.
Yeah, that's right.
You get. I think maybe you become more hemophiliacs.
There was a Russian son in that whole dynasty of czars
Yes.
who had that.
Yes. Exactly.
And he was overseen by Rasputin, I believe.
yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Who was that? Tsar Nicholas?
I think that sounds right.
It might have been Tsar Nicholas or Peter the Great or something
We're
like
getting
that.
into Anna Karenina territory.
Yeah.
Which they tried to help us with and make us into a Disney movie, but
Which was what? That was...
I think Anna Karenina was a Disney movie.
And what was that called? Was that called...
I thought it was just Anna Karenina.
What wasn't there one... There was
Anna Karenina sounds like how Snoop Dogg would say it.
Yeah.
Karenina. The dinner.
You would turn that into something. I'm
Oh,
liking these intros that you're giving to NBA players on
They're
your
fun.
podcast.
They're fun.
Does that take you a while?
Not as long as you'd think. I don't know how long you think, actually.
I would think of a little bit of time.
I think it takes about 20 minutes or
Oh, that's
so.
not bad. You do a nice job with it.
It comes pretty quickly. It takes longer if I try to memorize it. I just gave up trying to memorize it. But Anna Karenina would have been more memorable of a story if they turned it into a musical. If they were a Disney musical instead of just like a Disney feature film, like fucking Fievel Goes West or
Right.
whatever the rats were that went to fucking Australia or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that one.
The Rescuers Down Under.
Oh, yeah, those were great.
But they didn't sing songs. And now we know every fucking idea of Pocahontas' life
We do.
because there was fucking songs about it.
But weren't a lot of the facts from Pocahontas inaccurate?
I think that might be true.
Mm.
Did she wind up married? Or she didn't marry
She was
John
already
Smith?
married. She was already married to a Native American guy, potentially even a chief.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that romance was real. I think she facilitated communication and trade with him and with them, but I don't know that there was this beautiful romance.
But I think she wound up getting married to someone in the story, but not who we thought it was. Maybe not John Smith or some shit like that.
Mm.
Even as a little boy, John Smith was pretty like hot and devil may care.
He sure
Well,
was.
he was like, I've gotten out of worse scrapes than this one.
And that's also, by the way, the type of name that you would expect Pocahontas to tell her dad when she wants to shield him from getting beaten up by her dad.
John Smith.
What's his name? John Smith?
Yeah.
He's John Smith.
Maybe it wasn't a basic name.
Guy
then.
looks it up in the phone book. There's 45 John Smiths here.
We're going to have to scalp all of them. You forced my hand, Pocahontas. There's nothing we can do now.
That's a good Indian. You do Indian well.
It'd be better if my voice is like shit right now, but that Indian was one of the...
And I don't think it's cultural appropriation because we took all of their stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the... It's almost a celebration.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The Indians
We're
want us to do their
bringing
voice.
it back even more.
They want us to do red voice.
I read a book, Red Voice. I read a book that was actually pretty interesting about, it was Michael Pollan's book about hallucinogens, caffeine, something like This Is Your Mind on, I think it was This Is Your Mind on Plants.
Ooh.
Because I think he also wrote This Is Your Mind on Drugs or something. But he's a pretty good author. And he had a big chapter about the peyote, which comes from the cactus.
Right.
And it was the sacred medicine for the ritual that the Indians would do. And then everyone got excited about trying it themselves, which over-farmed or, over-plundered the peyote plant, and then it became harder for them to find it. Also, they were the ones that went to the Supreme Court.
And said that it's a religious thing for us.
Yeah.
And you can't...
You need to let us smoke our
us?
peyote and I think maybe eat it. I can't remember much of this. But and the Supreme Court, I think, ruled in their favor as a protection of their religious rights.
That's badass.
Yeah, it was cool.
Why were you reading this book? Was it because you were interested in going down this rabbit hole yourself?
I heard him as a guest on Dax Shepard's podcast, and I thought it was interesting. And then I read the book, and it was word for word everything that he said on the podcast.
Damn.
The most redundant exercise I've had in a long time.
That's so annoying.
It was tough.
Dudes will just regurgitate everything on the podcast.
Yeah. I guess if it's a densely theoretical book, it's very hard to say, like, I'm not going to tell you the answer to that question. Why don't you go get the book?
Yeah. And Dax Shepard gets listeners. He gets ears. I can't believe it.
He's huge. Isn't he one of the biggest?
Yes, he's one of the big. He's like top 10 across the board.
He's pretty cool. Although he's always reminding people that he doesn't drink, which,
we get it.
Like somebody we know. Who's not here.
I don't miss him. I don't miss him at all.
Good riddance. Let's have a drink.
So did Dax Shepard get his whole start on Punk'd?
I think that's right. But he was an actor. I remember seeing him in like Up a Creek or Up a Paddle or something like that. He was in a movie with, what was it?
Idiocracy.
Oh, people loved that. I never saw that.
It's very good.
I remember seeing him in a movie with Seth Green called Up a Creek or Up a Paddle or Lost Without a Paddle. Lost Without a Paddle.
Okay.
And he was doing some acting and stuff like that. And I think he had done all other things.
He was a really good actor on Punk'd.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
would trick the hell out of people.
You forget that they needed to act in order to do that show.
Like, perfectly.
You would have been good on that show. I could see you writing for that show as well.
It'd be fun. Prank shows.
Mm.
It was like an early prank show where it was before it was completely saturated.
Right.
Now prank shows are just dudes like going to the hood and like trying to like pants a fucking dude with a gun on him and just being like, it's a prank, as they get shot to death in the middle of the street.
I saw one of those recently, and a guy sort of reached out to touch another dude's girlfriend's ears on a escalator.
And the guy starts beating the shit out of him.
Kind of, but then that guy backs off so quickly.
Because he's like, it's a prank, dude, it's a prank.
He's like,
I don't give a fuck if it's a prank.
Yeah. Because then the guy heard, like, trying to get him away, was like, oh, sorry.
He's like, oh, ha ha ha.
It's like, what difference does it make?
Oh, you just fucked my girlfriend in front of me. Like, no, it was a prank. I didn't realize.
Allow
it was
me
a
to
prank.
put your penis back in. I can see it's still hard, and there's still some residue. It should slide in just no problem.
I'll just scrub your tip off there for you, brother. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't realize it was a prank.
Forgive me.
That's so insane. I saw that exact same clip, and I was struck the same way.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter if it's a prank. You just grab some girl's hand.
Can't do it.
Against their will or whatever.
He was reaching for her face is what I remember
seeing.
seeing.
Yeah. Or like, he like touched her ear or something like that. Like,
do you wonder if maybe that was staged?
No. They're not that good of actors.
I
don't know.
Starting to lose faith in everything.
If Shepard or Valderrama was there. Was Valderrama one of the other ones?
Wilmer?
Wasn't he one of the other actors on Punk'd?
Is it Wilmer?
It's got to be Wilmer Valderrama. He's German. He played the Nazi going on 17.
That was Fritz?
Yeah.
Fritz? That song, if you listen to the lyrics of that song now, he's like, I am 17 going on 18. I'll take care of you. And then her response is, all depend on you.
Yikes.
I know nothing. I'm a dumb little cunt. Please help me out in this world.
She literally says, I know that I'm naive. It's like...
Totally unprepared are you to face the world of men.
Take this drink. Don't mind what I'm swirling in.
Yeah.
You'll like it. It's delicious.
Oh, man. But when she does the duet of Edelweiss with her dad, that's pretty moving. That's pretty nice.
Yes, exactly. And then Cab
Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Then John Candy's like, I used to work at this joint in the early 60s. I got to way out the back. Does the Blues Brothers end the same way? The Blues Brothers has the same ending as The Sound of Music.
It does.
It's literal like Nazis chasing after them as they sneak out of the back of a fucking concert that they're throwing.
And they can't start their car because two nuns have removed the spark plugs. Yeah. How they knew the parts necessary to take out of the car, we'll never know.
Wait, does it also Sister Act have that same ending?
Sure
like
does.
Nuns are like putting Nazis into fucking closets or some shit like that so they can all perform their final act.
You could argue that Sister Act is Blues Brothers meets The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that exercise...
Goldberg. Imagine how pissed the Nazis would be at her. Fucking Goldberg.
Whoopi again!
We're looking for Whoopi Goldberg. Check under the floors.
There's an H for Whoopi.
For Whoopi. We're going to shoot the attic. What were you about to say?
Man, it's crazy how much funnier the pod is without Sass.
I know. I really think he's...
Yeah.
What other musicals did you listen to on your drive down?
Well,
which Disney ones? You said you listened to some Disney ones.
Yeah, we listened to Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh.
Which is one of my favorites. There's that great song. It's so good. The mob song with Gaston. Gaston is the best villain in all the Disney movies, in my opinion.
Yes. Because he was like, they were ahead of their time just hating on like the burly white man for getting too much pussy.
Yeah.
Right now, that guy couldn't even get cast on like Survivor
No.
because like you know what I mean.
He's too much the bad guy, the guy you root against. But Gaston also, interestingly, is I think the only Disney lead who is a bass as a singer.
Oh,
All the rest are altos, tenors. So I can sing along because I can't sing the high parts.
oh,
unless I
really?
go
Wait,
into
so what was
falsetto.
his? What's their? Because I'm confusing it with the Pocahontas song where they're like savages, savages, barely even human, and that's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
fucking Torches song.
Right.
What's the one in Pocahontas?
Through the mist, through the woods, through
yeah,
the
yeah.
darkness and the shadows. It's a nightmare, but it's one exciting ride.
Oh, yeah.
Say a prayer, then we're there at the drawbridge of a castle, and there's something truly terrible inside.
Yes,
That one?
I would, and honestly, I kind of get why the townspeople were so fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
That there's like a teacup and a fucking candlestick having a bacchanal.
Yeah.
Just having an orgy with a cabinet in a fucking castle or whatever. That's an abomination. That's ungodly. If you're in a small French town, they don't even have the fucking internet.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just have like a fucking bookstore and a creperie.
There's no ice? You're telling me there's no ice within 50 miles and yet you have a fucking dresser that will come out and
It doesn't make any
sing
sense.
to me?
And that they're all just having sex in front of Chip, the small cup.
Yeah.
The poor little fucking teacup.
They were doing some hanky-panky in those
There
cupboards.
was.
Yeah.
There definitely was. Well, you know, the two horniest were the candlestick and the feather duster.
Yeah.
The feather duster was clearly a prostitute.
I don't remember what it whirled into once the spell was lifted.
The Lumiere is the French pervert, and
Yep.
the feather duster is like, and he's always just like dipping her in like Pepe Le Pew kissing her, like.
Yeah. You're right. And she goes, he's like, invaders, warn the. She's
Sacre
like,
bleu.
yeah. She's
Sacre bleu invaders.
Yeah.
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 That was a good way to learn some French, but I don't feel. I mean, I just get why Gaston didn't want his beloved
Yeah.
to be
Trying to
fucked
protect the town.
by a literal animal.
No.
He's literally protecting against bestiality.
Putting the beast in
How is he
bestiality.
supposed to know that there's a spell with the fucking rose petals falling?
I don't think they did know. I don't think they knew. And isn't it Belle's father who warns them all?
Yeah, the dude who's on like the doesn't he? He's
Well,
like an
'cause
inventor, isn't he?
He is, and he pretty damn good one too.
Well, he's severely autistic.
Yeah, back then I don't think
They didn't have the
knew.
classification.
It is.
I mean, Belle was too.
It is possible. That
Just
his-
reading the same book over and over again.
Keep it. It's yours. I couldn't.
She doesn't discover that it's him
Till
till
chapter 3.
Fucking, this bitch knows the book front and back.
She
Read
sure
a new
does.
book.
There's another part. He says, so it's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me. And then he galvanizes the whole town. That's a leader.
Yes. That's
Gaston.
a front of the pack dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't sweat the small stuff.
He also, I mean, he's the most like David Goggins character in all of Disney. When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large.
I carried the boats. I trained UFC.
He shoots birds out of the air. He's a down the line Rogan guest, and
He's out. He's like Steve Ranella.
yeah,
He's just as like an alpha, hunts for himself, has like fucking good forearms.
I could see Rogan being like, "Look, I understand that a lot of what he says and does is a little non-traditional, but he does make some good points."
When I was a boy, I took 0 vaccines. That's definitely his
good.
vibe. And were there any others, or was it just those ones? And then
Did
he went over
Aladdin?
to sound him.
Aladdin
Ooh,
was great.
yes,
Bunch of Aladdin.
Aladdin's incredible.
Aladdin's really good. There's
What up, wow?
it's everything Robin Williams does in that movie is
His
all
gold.
time.
His gold.
My favorite part is when they conjure the whole parade to introduce Prince Ali to Jasmine.
Yes.
And Robin Williams is playing 50 different characters in that scene. And at one point, the chorus goes, "He's got 75 golden camels." And Robin Williams goes, "Don't they look lovely, June?" And of peacocks, he's got 53. Fabulous, Harry. I love the feathers.
He's doing his birdcage character.
Yes.
I wonder
yeah.
which came out, the birdcage or which came out first, Aladdin or the birdcage?
I would imagine La Cage aux Folles, the birdcage. Because
Really?
that was 80s, I think. And Aladdin was probably in the 90s.
Oh, and you mind checking which came out first?
We need to get these facts straight. There's a lot of
This
people
is important
listening.
because, like, did they watch the birdcage and be like, "Oh my God, he's our genie"?
Let's recreate these characters, yeah.
Walt, I just got your genie.
Oh, God. I was way off.
So Aladdin
was before
first.
that. Yeah.
Aladdin was first, so they saw him being his campy gay character,
That's amazing.
and then they fucking put him in there.
Did you watch the Robin Williams documentary? The story, the biography, biopic thing? Not a biopic. It was a documentary.
I'm not sure. I don't know if I watched. I know I watched Bourdain's. I don't know if I watched Williams.
This was on HBO.
Was it fantastic?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's very sad. But he was just like a generational talent.
They didn't like.
Sass would say that he stole jokes.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to get into.
Yeah.
Or someone punched him at like the fucking Comedy Store or something like that for stealing jokes.
I think you're thinking of Rogan and Mencia,
Yeah.
right? Because that happened, or they didn't punch him. I don't know.
I don't know if they punched, but I'm pretty sure Robin Williams. I think there's like
He might
some
have been.
famous old comic punched him.
Yeah,
But he was pretty magical. Dude, I mean, I remember I got 3 stand-up albums when I was like maybe 10 years old. I got that Robin Williams one, maybe like it's like Live in New York or some shit like that.
yeah, that's probably the one at the Met.
At the Met.
Mm-hmm.
I got Seinfeld.
Yeah, I
it was
we
like a
listened
classic
to that one.
Seinfeld,
Yeah.
and then Steve Martin, Let's Get Small.
Yeah, I have that one too.
Those are like
I knew
3
all
classics.
the words to all those.
Yes, like those are ones you listen to over and over again.
That's cool.
And fucking memorize them. And 3 very different comedy styles.
Very true. Yeah.
Like I didn't even know what the fuck Robin Williams was talking about. But it's
No.
like the genie character where she's just like bouncing around and he's like, and Pavarotti's at the Improv in the back going like, "Oh." And they're on the boat, they're like, "Hey, let's have another Mai Tai." And it's just like, what the fuck are you saying, bro? And
I
he's just
couldn't
jumping
follow
around.
it. I can't follow it either. But and it was never his stand-up that really blew me away. It was but I loved that he did it. They say that show at the Met, he'd been touring for a while, that night where he recorded that special, 30% of the material had never been said before.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
Because it just spouted out of him.
Matt Rife before Matt Rife.
Yeah. He's the
know?
original Matt. He's the original Matt. He was the original crowd worker.
Yeah.
And yes, what's your name? Yes. He was fucking incredible. Steve Martin, I even remember at the time, Steve Martin was less my cup of tea than the other 2.
Well, Steve Martin was so goofy. And that was, again, that would have been well before, I think, Robin Williams and Seinfeld.
I think it was called Let's Get Small or something. And it was about, that's what getting high, used to call getting high, used to be getting small. He was talking about like getting small and climbing into a vacuum
cage
or something
like that. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like crawling into the front of a vacuum or something.
I love that.
Which I guess is funny, but I think I listened to the Seinfeld and more Robin Williams much more frequently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Seinfeld had the McDonald's bit.
And
Why are they still counting?
Yeah.
40 billion, 80 billion. Okay, I'll have a hamburger.
And then, yeah. Or the airplane, the first class. And I remember him talking, he was like, yeah, going into first class, and they give you a look like, if you work a little harder, you'd be able to sit up here.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't like 1998 and he wasn't a literal billionaire. I found out later on like the fabulous life of Jerry Seinfeld that he literally had Evian water come through his shower.
Really?
The fabulous life of Jerry Seinfeld.
The most nasally British voice.
Jerry Seinfeld is so rich that his apartment can fit 15 billion Cadbury eggs.
But that's
not all. Yeah. And that's not all.
Yeah. Didn't that album come out before the show? Why did I think that album
Did
preceded the show? I could be totally wrong. He made the show, I think when he was in his late 20s or something like that.
That makes sense. Or he made the show from like 92 to 98 or some shit like that.
Yeah, I
Or
could have
like
my
maybe
timeline
89 to
totally
99
wrong.
or something, like
Yeah.
10 years.
We used to listen to that Seinfeld album in the car on car drives with the family.
You sing along?
We just listened to it over and over, and we used to drive everywhere.
Yeah.
We would just go. We would drive to Florida from Maine.
We used to drive a lot too. Why was that? Why do we all used to drive so damn much more? Is it because kids are harder, or is it because air travel was worse, or there's fewer flights?
I think marshaling your family in the car was easier than getting everyone to the airport.
But it's crazy because there was no fucking iPads. There was no back seat rest shit.
None
You
of
had to rewind a cassette tape for half the ride.
We'd listen to E.B. White, Charlotte's Web, The Trumpet of the Swan.
The
as a
Midwinter
family.
Cherries.
My parents would endure young adult novels while we as a family listened to them over and over.
That's insane.
And then we transitioned to, listening to Lance Armstrong's It's Not About the Bike or, John Krakauer's Into Thin Air.
I think I had a CD of, it was called And the Crowd Goes Wild.
I had that.
And it was like the best.
Great sports calls.
Yeah, great sports calls.
It was a book, and the CD came in the back of the book.
Yeah, and I would like try to make my sister listen to that. And she'd
Yeah.
be like, no, I want to listen to Britney Spears.
Yeah.
But I never let her listen to Britney Spears, and she never grew up to be a slut.
Damn. That's good to know.
She avoided being a slut entirely because we were putting on fucking Kirk Gibson's home run calls. And then look at all these other sluts who never fucking got to hear Micah Ruzzione's fucking 1980 fucking...
Down goes Frazier.
Yeah. That shit was exciting. That
I
shit
love
was
that.
super exciting.
What's been going on in your life?
Dude, I finally went to Laser Wolf last night.
Oh, I've heard good things. What is that? Sushi?
It's Israeli.
Oh, I'm way off.
It was fucking incredible though. But then I was going out. I was driving home, and it was like rainy last night in Brooklyn. It was crazy rainstorms, but that made for a beautiful sunset.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving home in an Uber.
Did you see the double rainbow?
Double?
There was a double.
No way.
El Double.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. I only saw a single on Marty and Ria's Instagram stories,
Oh, really?
which is where I get most of my rainbow news.
Oh, gosh.
That and the Olympics.
Yeah.
But I was driving past.
I said to Marty really quick,
Go ahead.
I go, dude, are you guys in London like every weekend?
Are they?
Because there was just a string of posts that I saw where I think it was they were in London, and I saw his post from London and hers, and then it was his birthday shortly thereafter, and the first post from that was a post of them from London.
Got it.
But I didn't read all that context, so I just thought they had
Going back to London.
moved to London.
It's crazy, the air travel. Because when we were growing up, we used to have to drive to London. And we
Yeah.
would fucking be driving underwater listening to fucking a cassette of The Little Mermaid.
Under the sea.
It's like, oh, yeah, exactly. That's where we are. Hey, folks, let's take a second and talk about Game Time.
Game time.
You know you can get tickets to Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins tonight
Wow,
at Citi Field.
that's so sick.
It's insane.
I'd like to see Green Day.
Oh, man. Don't want to be an American idiot.
I walk along these streets, the
Wick.
only boulevard I've broken dreams.
Unbelievable. There's so many good deals, so many good concerts. There's not a bad seat in the house when you're rocking with Game Time. I mean, it's I got it up right here. Oh, Def Leppard's coming to Citi Field.
Mm.
The Oakland Athletics are coming to Citi Field. See them while they're still the Oakland Athletics, and see them with Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry about getting your tickets because Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Fast and easy way to buy tickets in all sports, music, comedy.
I'm going to go to the U.S. Open tennis.
Are you serious?
That's what I'm going to use Game Time for.
Gosh, I can't wait to see your outfit.
The big thing is to sit behind the tennis, not in the middle. You think you want to be at sort of the 50-yard line, the mid-court. You actually want to be on the baseline.
Because then you'll be on television, perhaps.
Well, then you're not turning your head all the time.
Oh, interesting.
It's easier to follow the strokes from behind.
Think about the whiplash that the judges get.
No, the worst.
That's what that movie Whiplash is about, right? A tennis judge.
Yeah. Who's
He's trying to impress his fucking tennis judge teacher. The guy who teaches him how to tennis judge.
Mm-hmm.
You ever watch those videos where the like ball girls get like smoked in the face?
Yeah.
At tennis. I long to see something like that.
And they always go over and apologize, and then the girl's like, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I'm just having a rough
It's got to
day."
be a therapist's dream. But that's not this ad. This ad's about Game Time.
Game Time.
Best place for last-minute seats, up to 60% off of your favorite events. What are you waiting for? I'm literally going to get tickets to see Francis. Dude, they were selling tickets for Pop Punk for $600 on Game Time. What a dirty process.
Oh gosh.
You can also get the best deals, okay?
Yeah.
Just because a ne'er-do-well was on there doing some nasty stuff. That doesn't mean how that is every time at Game Time. Game Time is truly the best. I might go down to I got some Eagles tickets for my mom's birthday for Game Time.
Oh, good. That's such a sweet gift.
Time spent. Time spent is the best gift.
I don't know that I was saying it was the best gift. I was saying
and it's the Eagles, the football team, not the band. What does the band sing?
Hotel California.
Oh,
is
yeah,
their big one.
Heroin.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BOYDAD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Son of a Boy Dad is brought to you by BetterHelp. Ooh, yeah. BetterHelp is perfect for us guys right now.
BetterHelp.
Whether you're experiencing the lows of your battle rap career and are suffering from some types of anxiety or depression, or have things bubbling up in your personal life that you'd like to wrangle, that you'd like to throw the lasso on, put your knee on their back and say, you know what, I got this thing under control. Whether it's your schedule being packed with kids' activities, big work projects.
Damn. Endless.
Or endless things. It's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for that. And that's why you feel like you have no time for yourself sometimes. And non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever in those cases.
I've benefited from BetterHelp, and it's not just about going when you are really in desperate need. It's
Facts.
about going to maintain good mental health practices and learn how to work through your own things when those bad moments happen. I have actually found that utilizing BetterHelp in times of being solid was just as helpful sometimes as when I was really not
Totally,
in a great spot.
because it's like it's a level raiser.
Yep.
So you don't need to be at suboptimal levels to get to baseline. If you're at baseline, it could take you a step ahead.
Or it can help you maintain.
It can also help you maintain. That's a great point. There's so many benefits from therapy, and BetterHelp is literally the easiest place to do it. It's right on your phone. Pick your therapist. Choose when you want to. You let them know what you want to work on. They'll link you with somebody who can give you that good BetterHelp. Never skip a therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/son to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/son. But I overheard something. I'm trying to remember the name I overheard. A guy. I had to record it because a guy was like, I just overheard just like one slice of a conversation, and I'll just hear slices of conversation, and I'll be like, what has led up to their lives at this point? And it was a guy being like to somebody else walking down the street in Williamsburg, and he was like, yeah, her name is Viola Fimchiniko. It's like the hottest name that's ever existed. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? That name sucks dick. Viola Fimchiniko?
Sounds like a female bodybuilder.
It's preposterous. It sounds like Pinocchio's creator,
Like
dude.
a woman who medals at the CrossFit Games.
Viola Fimchiniko?
Yeah.
That ain't a hot name, dude.
No.
You're fucking blinded by the light, dude.
Fimchiniko.
Fimchiniko? Hell no, dude.
That woman has moles on her back.
Made a bat with a long hair coming out of her fucking rib cage.
Long hairs.
Viola Fimchiniko?
Yeah.
She needs some Evian in her shower because the water in New York is so hard that it's making her skin break out, dude. Viola Fimchiniko? It pissed me off on the car ride that this guy, this stranger, in this 2-second slice of life conversation was fucking waxing poetic about how hot Viola Fimchiniko's name was. Maybe we're doxing her and maybe she's fucking hot in real life, but that ain't a hot name, dude.
No, it's not. And
Viola Fimchiniko? Viola ain't hot either, dude. That's the least hottest string instrument to be named after.
It is not good. The viola.
Yeah, viola.
What is the difference between a viola and a violin?
I think one is big.
Is that right? Violins are big?
I thought a viola was like a big ass.
Viola is bigger. It's smaller than a cello, but bigger than a violin.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it could be. But cello's a nicer name.
We're just throwing a lot of stuff out there we're not certain of. But that's okay.
It's fine. That's normal. I went on Billy's podcast. That's all we did.
Well, okay. So
you're right.
The violin is the one that the bears would have chosen.
Yeah, the middle bear.
The middle bear.
It's just right.
Yeah.
They would have loved the three little bears would have loved Viola Fimchiniko.
I think the cello is the instrument that you can most make love to.
It is shaped sexually as hell.
I just mean I meant metaphorically. I guess if you were actually talking about the instrument that it is most receptive to intercourse, it would be a trumpet or something. Like
that. Are you saying it's shapely like a woman's back?
I think that playing the cello, you can really pour your soul into it. You can, if it's very evocative. You can. You can tell people how you're feeling based on how you play the cello.
When I went to the Philharmonic, it was almost a competition amongst the string section to who could be more into it, who could swoon the most, and represent their fucking musical.
And they finger it. They finger
it. Trying
to make it
have
squirt.
to be, and it was like Asian music, so it was like kind of vibe. It was very. But dude, I do that sometimes. I'll overhear someone saying something and the sentence will be so preposterous that I have to record it in my phone.
I like
one of the other very recent ones that I have in my notes app. I went to a restaurant called Inga's, which
I love Inga's.
Yeah, incredible.
I know Inga's.
As we were leaving Inga's, I overheard two gay dudes talking to each other walking down the street, and they said, "Whoever designed that bathroom needs their ass eaten. The candles smelled incredible." Whoever designed the bathroom needs their ass eaten. The candles smelled incredible. It's such a preposterous sentence to overhear in fucking New York. They need their ass eaten. That's such a fucking... That's such a high praise of I guess sexuality, and it tells you so much about the person. It's like the greatest act of love that they could, like a grandmother cooking a fucking delicious hearty dinner. That's their act of love. This gay bird walking down the street in fucking Brooklyn Heights, their greatest show of love is eating someone's ass because the decor was so good. It was a preposterous sentence, and it's just lived in the fucking corner of my brain like Viola Fimchiniko that I just can't fucking escape that shit. It's truly. So you asked what's been going on with me.
Yeah.
That's what's been going on with me. I just been listening to 2-second snippets of strangers' conversations and extrapolating a life story that like keeps me up at night.
This is where we build from, though. These are the kernels that grow into beautiful fields of corn. Fields of corn. Speaking of which, I was driving by some cornfields.
Oh, yeah. Upstate?
Yeah.
New York corn.
Ever since Interstellar came out,
Yes.
I have had the strong desire to turn off the road and drive through a field of corn. Just mowing it down.
Is there any downside? A scarecrow, perhaps?
A farmer's going to run onto his porch with a 12 gauge and somehow hit me in a Tesla Model 3? Not a chance. That said, I don't think the Tesla's very low to the ground and there's very little suspension. You feel just about every bump in the road. I don't know how level cornfields are.
They have to be very level.
You think?
Because if a tractor goes over them, don't they have to be able to evenly till a field?
I think you're right about that, but also you'd also think that each stalk of corn is the same height. For if some grew higher, they would then shade the rest, which makes me think that it's planted on level-ish ground.
I think it has to be pretty level. I think that one of the things you have to worry about is migrants, but at the same time, Tesla has enough technology where it will probably stop itself were it about to mow a migrant.
Right. I'd get that beeping noise that I sometimes hear when I'm about to hit a child.
Yes.
And that's because children and migrants are the same height.
Now, the Tesla trucks are, I think, built to mow down migrants.
They are. With as little damage to you as possible.
Right. Oh, yeah. You would be safe.
So as soon as it's a new feature I've heard with the Cybertruck is that when you hit a migrant, it actually automatically prints the illegal papers that show that person is not.
They tested it in the Rio Grande.
Is here on an expired visa.
They would go subterranean in the Rio Grande and just print out fucking.
Instead of calling OnStar, it calls ICE.
Don't worry about this one. We took this one off your hands. Truly
great.
Hilarious. I saw a video yesterday saying the front of the Cybertruck is a trunk.
A frunk. Is that right?
Is it a frunk? I could be wrong about that.
I would think so. Sorry.
Bless you.
Jesus Christ. It's a
Bless
yawn.
you. No, bless you.
I have a frunk on my Tesla.
Yeah, I wonder if all Teslas have frunks. But a woman was doing a video and she was basically like, the Tesla's frunk can take off your finger. And she put a carrot in the side of the frunk, closed it, and the carrot just snapped off. Which, troubling.
It's not great.
Troubling.
I've been seeing the Cybertruck everywhere. I've been seeing it as a promotional tool for a lot of businesses.
Yes.
It seems that so many businesses, as some kind of a joke or ironic twist, went out, purchased them, and then slapped a bunch of decals on them and painted them in different colors.
And like the type of person who buys it is so obvious that whatever business is advertising, it's almost like anti-advertisement.
Right.
If you're advertising on a Cybertruck, there is 0.0% chance that I will patronize your business.
Right.
The type of person, he's like a mid-level marketer, pyramid schemer, like putting a fucking bumblebee or like cheetah wrap on a fucking Cybertruck,
right,
acting like I'm going to come to your fucking business because of that. 0.0% chance.
Reminds me of the ads I used to see when I would watch WWF before it was WWE.
When you used to watch the Wildlife Foundation.
That's right. Which, by the way, how on earth did they win that copyright suit?
Yeah.
That trademark battle.
They should have settled it in the fucking ring.
Like
Pandas against Triple H.
He just beat out, Stone Cold. That's crazy. And Vince McMahon. But the ads were always I remember very well, it was Stacker 2, which was a fat burning supplement.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lugs.
The boots?
They were like, boots and
like
dress
$12
shoes
boots.
that were preceded Uggs.
Yes.
But were much the same name.
Those were, in battle rap, a big diss point. Those aren't Tims, those are Lugs. People would be, no, they're not. Fuck you.
Lugs.
They're terrible, a terrible boot.
I've been watching your battle rap clips.
I've been trying to put them online because it's free engagement.
It's so good.
And there's also like hundreds of hours of them online that I just have never put up anywhere.
That's insane.
I need to continue to dump that shit out.
I like the one about the guy who smoked a lot.
And I had met that guy the summer before, and he truly was like, he's a Filipino man, and he flew over. They flew these guys over from the Philippines, like 3 or 4 battle rappers. And the summer before, he was literally like curled up on a windowsill in a fucking Toronto hotel, like chain smoking, while 25 battle rappers in the room just like chug beers. He was just like kind of silently like a meerkat in the window smoking cigs. So I found one small fact about him and just extrapolated it into.
It's great.
Wow, that's a double extrapolation on this podcast. Rare. Very rare.
What year was that?
That was probably 20. I was thin at that time. I was depressed at that time. I think I weighed 147 pounds.
What?
At that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? You truly were down?
Yeah, or I was just like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm so poor.
Yeah.
I have no fucking, I'm just like doing a couple battle raps a year and just doing the thing that a lot of young artists do, that trying to convince myself and other people that I'm actually making moves. At the end of the year, making a social media post, like listing what I did during the year to try and convince myself and other people that I had been experiencing some kind of growth.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was down to like a size 28 waist.
Jesus.
That's not growth, brother. It's the opposite of.
That's kind of cool, though. I've never been in the 2s on my waist size.
It was nasty work.
That's good. I want to get there. Bro,
your thighs are too naturally big, brother.
Yeah, but we can just not eat for a while and get those will.
It doesn't work,
fizzle.
dude. I was doing 22-hour intermittent fasts all like last week or whatever. Shit doesn't work. I guess just doing it for 4 days straight won't get it done.
Why am I yawning? I'm sorry.
It's because you're comfortable, brother. You don't
think
have to
it's
apologize.
because I ate a package of Nutella sticks and some mini Oreos right before, and now I'm crashing. And this happens every single time.
It's the sugar crash.
Every time we do the podcast, it always follows at exactly the right amount of time after I've eaten my treats to cause me to flatline on my energy.
It's that internal clock.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're allowed to fucking have treats. I haven't eaten a fucking morsel today because I'm trying to get that back down to that 28 waist.
You're doing this fasting thing?
I'm fucking trying to, dude.
I'm doing the cold plunging.
Oh, how amazing is it?
I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Did you see they were doing it on the Yak? And then they're like, they're just like dying like 10 seconds in. And I just fucking sat back and villain laughed. Like,
I have no problem with it.
None.
Now, mine's only like 36 or 37. So if I had one that makes the ice, it might be worse. But I get in and within 20 seconds, I'm completely fine.
You would adapt.
My toes hurt a little bit, but I don't mind about that. I think I'd be fine without toes. I don't know what I need them for.
Aren't they decent for balance?
Are they? Do they do any balancing? When I'm barefoot, I fell off that boat and I thought my toes were gripping. I thought I was using my toes like a gorilla to hold on to the boat, and I fell off the boat, and everyone mocked me for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe evolution will rid us of our toes.
Just don't see the point. I don't know what they're for.
Yeah. The interbreeding gives you the Habsburg toe. I got a nasty Habsburg toe going.
The web toe. I originally gorillas use their feet like hands.
And so, it would make evolutionary sense that our shit is getting smaller and less hand-like, and then maybe we'll just nub out.
And I wonder what the ideal shape from an evolutionary standpoint a foot would be.
And do like runners have better or like longer toes? Can they propel themselves with a toe? Is there whip? Because I've seen LeBron's toes. His toes are like...
Oh, I've seen them too. Ooh.
It's like a deck of cards like stacked midway against each other.
Wicker chair that's been woven.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you were basing it off of your toes alone, the man would have never made the NBA. Would have been executed.
By the way, I got an email from my building, the manager, and it was one that he wrote specifically to me. And he said that marijuana odors had emanated from an apartment near me and they were going to investigate, and they were reminding us of our
We were like, let's find the
building's
guy.
smoking policy. Well, here's the thing. They started on Saturday night, and I wasn't home. So it wasn't me. And now I'm thinking that there's a cover, so I might as well start smoking in my apartment.
Yeah. Or
because I've been afraid to, and I said you could check the security tapes. I wasn't home.
or I should go over on a time you're not there and like blow some weed out in the hallway and fucking run away. And then we start the investigation or some shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's a way that we can like frame it, get the attention on somebody else,
Right.
and then kind of circle back around?
I feel like if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be assumed to have been the culprit, then I might as well
Do the crime.
do the crime.
What?
I've always kind of believed that.
What an insane policy in fucking 2024 in New York City. Like they sell weed like damn near downstairs at your building.
I know. It's just I think it's the smoking thing.
Who gives a fuck?
I know.
Doesn't even make it smell worse.
No, it doesn't.
They smell delicious.
But there's a lot of kids in my building, so I gotta make sure.
You think those kids aren't on the fucking dope?
If I know them as well as I think I do.
These New York kids, these dangerous, badass New York kids.
They all like the sativas.
They get sturdy and fucking smoke sativas. That's what they fucking do. They listen to Pop Smoke, eat hot chip, and fucking lie. That's what these young children are doing these days.
What's the latest in the world of, the stuff that you and Hairball are into?
This is a perfect chance for us to never talk about fishing. This is a perfect episode of no fishing.
I don't want to talk about fishing. I'm talking about you just named Pop Smoke.
He's dead. He's dead as hell.
He died?
Yeah.
When did he go?
4 years ago.
Is that where Sass is? He's at that guy's funeral?
He's at the memorial service for Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke. Right.
We're done. This is a great podcast.
We are?
Yeah, we're done.
Wow. Look at that. Okay.
We flew through this.
Yeah, that's great.
It was a blast. Hairball will be back later this week.
Yeah.
I'm flying to LA tomorrow morning.
Before.
A bunch of interviews. And then I'm flying back tomorrow night. And I'll be in on Wednesday.
Excellent. What a soldier. Thank you for your sacrifice.
We had such a good weekend with Pop Punk. Sold out shows. We have 2 more shows on this tour. DC and Philadelphia at the end of this month. Be part of something special. Come to these shows. It's going to be so fucking fun. If the Philly show doesn't sell out, I am doing an ancient Japanese suicide ritual on stage.
Damn. Then it'll just be me and Hairball podcasting. Nobody wants that. You can see, though, speaking of me and Hairball, me and the little Sasquatch will be at Cleveland.
Aren't you going mid
in a week? No, we're coming. It's coming right up. That's a week from now-ish, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Hilarities. You can get tickets for that at punchup.live/Francis Ellis. Links in my Instagram bio. Come to Cleveland to see us.
Amazing. That's going to be great. Thanks for listening. And shout out to Lil Sass. Respect during your funeral and sad time.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys. See you guys later this week.